Wow. Whoa. Wowie. Zowie. Why is the movement so floaty? So weird. Oh, I forgot to make sure Discord notifications are not doing their thing. I forgot I'm not in streamer mode. Here we go. I swear, professional.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever.
Achievements for this game.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days.
Yes, 12.
Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Could the game start again? You can't jump. No, seriously, we disabled it. Oh, the entire duration of a Tuesday one's in here. Alright, let's do 4:30 real quick.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Can't I crouch? I thought I could crouch in this game. Yeah, we'll just escape. There we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all
You
in?
can't jump.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
There we go. No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is Rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Yes. Yes. I have to manually reset it. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the trophy? Click a door 5 times? Is that all you think a trophy is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now, suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this trophy to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley.
The frames
I want to see
seem to be
commitment,
doing okay
a
this time.
willingness to go all the way no matter the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
The frames seem to be doing okay right now. But this isn't nowhere near as intense as
Oh, great.
Stellar
Now,
Blade.
go click a few times on door 437.
437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
I also was just looking at...
Now, back to door number 437.
I was looking at the monthly games and saw that this was on here for PlayStation. This one.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
The copy machine!
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk. Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416. We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
The copy machine!
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you
Wow,
back.
this
Yes,
looks
I'm
gorgeous
very proud
compared
of
to the
how far
original.
we've come today.
I don't know why I didn't think till just now to like actually start examining the surroundings, but it looks really pretty.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
What's
There was nothing
888888?
here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
At
It
all
was baffling
settings,
that Stanley was still just sitting
the
in the
menu
broom closet.
to all
He
the
wasn't even
available
doing
menus.
anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's
Don't play
literally
Stanley Purple for 10 years. What? Sort by rarity.
just standing there doing...
FA.
sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here.
Hi, Nana.
genuinely
How are you doing?
confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought
Very
to
mad.
mention it.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay to feel mad sometimes. It may not
to
be
you,
fun,
this
but
is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your
I'm
friends,
doing
you'll say,
good.
"Oh,
Tired.
did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yeah. Probably gonna make everyone sick.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities.
Didn't
It's
update the
indicative of
dialogue.
the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. At the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Actually, can I get... Why is this so vibrant? Weird. Alright. Let's do the narrative. Executive bathroom. Narrator really wants nothing to do with me anymore. Just play the game. Dang it. What? Wait, what is this? Wait, what is this? What's this? Up please. I don't remember this. Okay, I kind of remember this actually. Not that I remember. Granted, it's been a long time since I played the original version of this game. That looks about right. I kind of remember this. It literally doesn't go anywhere.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. "2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Whoop-de-doo.
I love this game. Dark corner. Dark. Ooh, oh, oh. Yeah.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Yeah,
Why
silly
did
you.
Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Ooh boy. Gee, I wonder where we are.
Here we are, Stanley.
Oh,
it's your
wow.
boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
Cool.
It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. Incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Hey, what's this? What does this do? No, nothing. Okay. Can I open this door? No. Okay. Oh boy. What a great time. Let's go back.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Oh boy.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Oh hey, what's this?
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Hi, Void. Gee, I wonder what we'll find up here. Wait, what's this?
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
Okay. Oh. I'm pretty sure the whole going up and
Okay,
down the
I'm
elevator
ready.
is new.
I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
I'm doing good. How are you, boy? I forgot I need to take my makeup off.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it.
Okay.
I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before,
Your skin
I
was
turn
crawling.
to your expert
Gross.
eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Alright. Ready for this gripping narrative. Wait, what was it for? 827? I don't even remember what it was.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator.
Yeah.
How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
I'm hoping he just gets to the point where he's just fed up. Oh, hey, what's this? Oh, I think we've exhausted the options.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you
What?
realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
No way. We actually found
The room
something.
where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
World's healthiest human being. All tricks revealed. How we did it in the pyramids. Live, the guy who went to Mars. Look at him. Look at him. I found the crouch button. All eyes on Stanley. Live on stage. I want to see the guy who went to Mars. An evening with the world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The Stanley Parables, Stanley, tonight on stage. The man, the process, the myths, the legend, the parable, Stanley, from the Stanley Parable. The moon? I think this is just a regular, like, texture map sphere. A Q&A with the world's first scientist machine. Sentient machine.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling
Almond's
and what
chair.
it means to craft a truly
Gum,
unpredictable
table,
narrative.
nut bar.
Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart.
427.
I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Break a leg, champ. Your boss. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get him, Tiger. Can I zoom in? There should be a zoom in function. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Story, Stanley, me. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. Your coworkers. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife. from the apartment building. Here's proof that Stanley's married. Golf. 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 Golf? Where am I headed? Up the stairs. Down, then up, then down, then up, then down, then up again. Presented by Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Yeah.
Really worth it.
Yep.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Oh.
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Oh.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Wait, was the who farted? It says who farted on the mug.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Oh.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. Why had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
What?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
Whoa, wait, what?
Not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're
forklifts?
going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
What?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Do not lie. If you're lying right now, stop. Where are we going?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would.
Right.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Okay.
Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right. Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, went to the door on his right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Okay. Okay. Door on his right. Okay. Door on his left.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story.
Look, it's
you've
okay.
destroyed my
It's
work.
okay.
Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so
Everything
special
is
about seeing the
okay.
game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know.
Wait.
What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I...
Move the table.
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down.
No.
I have to.
No.
I have to.
Don't. No. Oh.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
Well,
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
no.
That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh.
Well.
Story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Sure.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Entered the door on his right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Right.
Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Entered the door on his left.
Take my fucking kisses!
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right.
Alright, I think I did
When
about everything
Stanley
we
came
can.
to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think I have to listen now. On the left. Okay. Just got back from swimming.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Wait. What's this?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Wait, why can't I can't go off the path at all? Green?
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code. Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall. I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Oh, cool. That sounds like fun.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what?
can't.
It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stanley, take this door.
Stanley?
Stanley.
Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Stanley.
Stanley, please.
Stanley,
I
it's
need you
me.
to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
Stanley.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision.
Don't go
It
through
cannot
the door,
exist
Stanley.
without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay.
2013, that's insane.
You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Okay, it's just stopped. I totally get the sea cucumber vibes.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Huh? Where's the monitor with the input request? Where's the input request? Whee!
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
No? Okay.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good seat.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Jump circle. Yeah. Jump in. Jump in. Okay.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Another elevator.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." The quality assurance department signed off on this. I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
Guys, I don't think you
Still
liked
with
it.
me. Why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks.
What?
Just you
and-
and me
just-
having a great
what-
time together like always.
Okay,
What do you say, friend?
sure. I don't know if we'd consider each other friends. I mean, I've just made your time miserable.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
No.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
I'm not a dork.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
I might be a dork. Okay. Missed opportunity.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
So all the times I've seen people play this game, I've seen them playing it on PC. So I was excited to play the wait, what? Oh, okay. I was excited to check out the PlayStation version. Because I haven't seen anyone play it before. The original remake. Buy on pressurized gas. Or download the demo. Now. Stanley Parable demonstration. Smile because it happened. Don't play for 5 years. I have that achievement. Unachievable. It's impossible to get this achievement. I think I have that one too. I have the original Stanley Parable 100% completed on PC, which I wasn't sure of until I double checked earlier. Wow. Look at that PNG. Oh. Lovely memory, little Stanley. Oh, look at him.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I love me some new elevator content. Memory zone maintenance. Stanley Parable. It tastes nostalgic. It was good. The original remake, which I think is the one I played. I think it's the version you can get on Steam nowadays. The end is never the end. The end. Literally anything. People play games because of what they can do inside them. And your game is very good at letting them know they can't do anything.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, because they can't say Steam because it's on Steam. That's so clever.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to
Pressurized
stick them.
gas. So in the PC version on Steam, these cases say Steam reviews, and the dialogue does say there's Steam reviews. Hence why I was really confused why it was pressurized gas. But yeah, if you're putting this on a different platform, you can't go and promote another platform.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
Preachy?
This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customers.
Where'd it go?
Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Oh, why is the door still open? Oh, wait, why can I walk into the void?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices are what happened, and therefore, by becoming it is. So on and so forth, until inevitably, until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices.
Okay, it looped.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games.
Wait, what was that sound?
I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a
button resetting?
rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, Then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a
you're
monument to
simply what
every
now?
person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a
Sure.
mouthfeel that is rich with ambition.
Mouthfeel.
Ambitious history, if you will. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look, I have a method for exactly this sort of situation.
Yeah.
And I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other.
Okay.
In which case, the word I am not sick of shall be the victor.
That's good.
It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption,
button
it's right
resetting.
at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this. Whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation.
Really?
Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Oh, you just stopped.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please,
I'm trying.
I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door
We got
as long as it
Simsed.
can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to find us a door.
Okay.
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise.
I believe in
You
you.
just need to not do anything. Don't
No?
press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes,
Okay.
good. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Stanley!
What?
Stanley!
What?
Stanley,
What?
please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
What?
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone.
I thought you were
I've
fixing
looked
it.
at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just
Those
couldn't
reviews.
ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop
boring.
myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing...
Did someone say
that
waiting for me to press the
I'm
button?
going to be stuck. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Oh.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
Uh-oh.
I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. I've never sat down
A
in
year?
one place and not moved for one entire year. Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence.
Hello? Narrator? Hello? Sorry, I had to feed my Tamagotchis. I'm back. Hello? Hello? I just... Oh, good. The fire alarm's going off. Oh, the clock fell off the wall. And that plant's dead. Alright, get me out of here.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned. They screamed. They gnashed their teeth and said,
Narrator?
entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen.
It doesn't.
The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment.
Dripping? The fan stopped working. Oh. 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 That can't be good.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
That's getting worse. Oh. Did I see like a star? Oh. Fun. That's nice. Thank you. Ooh. Ooh, there's a trees. A trees. Yep. There's and trees. A singular plural. That's sirens? Oh. Hmm. Oh. Well, the button's dead, I guess. Hmm. Hmm. This isn't the same. Hmm. Oh. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the... beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
No, Lily. Hang on. Hang on. I'm working on it. Oh. How's my desk keep moving? My desk was like perfectly positioned. For some reason it keeps like sliding over towards the door and makes it harder to open the door. But like, I don't know. I haven't moved the desk. Like, I'm not even nudging it or anything. New content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
Oh, it's your sign.
I have something very exciting to show you.
Oh, thanks. Alright. I'll bite. The elevator.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and
When-
about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be.
Uh-huh.
The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
Okay.
Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different
Testing two
directions.
printers at the same
This
time.
is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and
That's
innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Potential. Oh yeah. Filter on filter on filter, let's go. Give me more filters. Does this bring you back, chat? Does it feel like you're watching a real CRT? Wait, is that just the Windows background? That's just straight up the Windows background. That's just straight up Windows. It's a Microsoft product. They're back. 2 doors. Stanley Parable 2. That pulling inspiration from Resident Evil? I wonder if all these are like pulling inspiration from other games. Or at least like pulling inspiration of like the method that other games do their sequels stuff. I like the way that Resident Evil does it.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
2 eyes,
I
2
feel
ears, 2
that if I can
nostrils, 2
loosely
arms, 2
organize a
legs.
handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game
Took
will
the red
sort of
marker,
naturally
me.
spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Nine AM scrum, 10 AM. Design pitch, 11:30. Break. 11:35. Pitch design. 12:02. Number 2 chat. The end is never the end again. This way to the show floor. New features. Like a red carpet.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Stanley Parable 2. Match. I saw the new content. Wait, there's a QR code. What does that bring me to? Does this QR code work? StanleyParable2.com. Welcome to the official website of the Stanley Parable 2. A sequel, huh? Watch our helpful and informative video to learn more about the Stanley Parable and what the journey it actually has a link to Crow's Discord. Right, hang on, chat. us a video here. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Here we go.
Everyone loves breakfast. But did you know that breakfast is getting a sequel? That's right. It's called Lunch. And critics are raving that Lunch will be everything breakfast was and more. With a little luck, we may even get a trilogy series out of it. Say, you know what a sequel is, don't you, Timmy? Why, sequels are the world's way of clinging helplessly to the past. We all want more of the things we love, and we're all afraid of change, which is what makes sequels so popular. New ideas are dangerous, Timmy, and they can lead to early aging. This eager-minded young thinker is just 29 years old. That's why we have sequels, to keep us couched in the familiar and the comfortable. Sequels are the bedrock of a healthy, functional society. And if you look around you, you'll find them everywhere you go. For instance, this man is developing a sequel to the automobile, which we'll call the vertical automobile. It's a useless, impractical invention. And in 2 days' time, the man will be publicly stoned to death for his crimes against gravity. Not all sequels are heretical nonsense, however. Here's the man who invented breathing, which is the sequel to suffocating and dying a slow death. Even your parents are getting a sequel, Timmy. Their names are Rob and Jessica, and they'll be taking care of you once your original parents are sent back in time to fight a secret war for the government. Sequels can be very fashionable. This young woman is wearing 5 shirts at once, which is the sequel to wearing 4 shirts at once. Look at Becky over there, wearing only 2 shirts at once. Get with the times, Becky. In fact, there is only one single thing in the world that isn't a sequel. It's this. We don't know what it is or why it exists, but it's the prequel from which all sequels are derived. And just like everything else, the Stanley Parable is getting a sequel too. We all know, of course, that it was your favorite game as a child. Don't you remember those long, lazy afternoons you spent playing the Stanley Parable? Watching your precious youth fritter away hour after hour. We've all wasted our childhoods in one way or another, and you were fortunate enough to get to waste yours on the Stanley Parable. But the Stanley Parable came out years ago, and you're not a child anymore. You're a man, which is like the sequel to a child. And as a man, you want manly things like taxes and cheating at baseball. You need a man's video game, Timmy. And that's why the Stanley Parable 2 will be perfect for you. It's as manly as video games can get. And if you don't believe me, let's look at the burly hunk of a man who's responsible for the game. Here he is, hard at work. His name is Gregory 8-Pack, and he's the cutting picture of raw, virile masculinity. Gregory is what we call the ideas guy, and he has the most important role on the team. The ideas guy tirelessly comes up with interesting concepts and then hands them off to the rest of the developers for the relatively simple job of turning those concepts into reality. For example, he's the one who picked up the phone and declared, "Someone ought to make a sequel to the Stanley Parable." Good work, Gregory. Go ahead and take the rest of the day off. With the hard part out of the way, work on the game can now begin. The game's developers must answer a simple question. What makes a sequel in the first place? Well, it's simple. Sequels are an opportunity to correct the mistakes of their predecessors. We've all made mistakes, and we've all caused harm to someone we love in order to cover up our mistakes. When developing this particular sequel, it's important to start by thinking, what mistakes did the original Stanley Parable make? Well, first off, most of the pornography in the original game was stolen or pirated, and it's time we paid the licensing fees fair and square.
The what?
Second, the Stanley Parable was catastrophic for this man named Leroy, whose personal information, including home address, social security number, and bank information, were all displayed prominently in multiple locations throughout the game. Although Leroy's money and identity were stolen, the fact remains that his personal information was the emotional core of the game,
Leroy,
and absolutely
no!
vital to a nuanced understanding of the story. As reparation for the harm we caused him, the sequel will contain a brief and insincere apology to Leroy, tucked deep within the game where it will be difficult to find. Finally, the Stanley Parable made the mistake of leaking too many government secrets about the nature of the Time Wars. Without these intricate details of specific military tactics, the story is likely to make very little sense, but we've decided to remove them from the sequel in the interest of helping the state's efforts. We'll get to you yet, Time Dracula. Now then, it's time to set about constructing the Stanley Parable 2. Game development is a difficult and complex art, one which can only be fully understood by this race of hyper-intelligent child soldiers bred in laboratories. They begin by studying the original Stanley Parable. Here it is in its raw, untouched form, a specimen of technological perfection. Time to exploit it for profit. We begin by adding jokes. The Stanley Parable was most widely known for its stark lack of humor, bucking all conventional industry wisdom. It was a bold artist statement that its developers stood firmly behind. But in 2022, it's impossible to reach even a single consumer of video games without jokes of some kind. So very well, jokes it'll be. During its development, over 500 kiloliters of comedy will be funneled directly into the core of the Stanley Parable 2, creating jobs for hundreds of machine operators and producing 30,000 tons of pollutant chemical byproduct, which will be pumped directly into local lakes, rivers, and beautiful nature reserves like these all over the country. Another common complaint of the Stanley Parable is that there wasn't enough gameplay. And so for the sequel, its developers have gone to great lengths to fix this problem. Here we can see gameplay being printed onto sheets. Every video game contains as many as 1,000 sheets of gameplay, and several of the largest games ever made contain close to 1,500. On mobile devices, the gameplay sheets have to be printed smaller. For the Stanley Parable 2, as many as 35 new gameplay sheets are being printed, each of which must be delicately massaged by the hands of a child before being added into the game. This man is stealing gameplay sheets from the factory, which he likely intends to use for a personal project he's been developing in his spare time. A good public stoning will cure him of that inclination. Let's check on Gregory real quick. Ha! Still recovering from a hard day's work. Don't you move a muscle. Next up, it's time to blackmail the press. In a competitive market, blackmailing your local journalist can be one of the most effective methods of creating word-of-mouth buzz for your sequel. In fact, blackmail is the currency of social progress. From your neighborhood grocer to the teacher at your school to the man who helps you steal HBO, everyone responds to blackmail. And if you've never done it before, it's easy to practice at home on your friends and family. Simply follow the instructional pamphlet that your teacher hands out after the end of the film.
Okay.
And finally, there's one last tool at our disposal for making the sequel feel fresh and exciting. And that's packaging the game with collector's edition merchandise. If you order the Stanley Parable 2, you'll receive this cow's egg. A single egg will produce over 1,000 cows, which are, of course, the sequel to pigs. And there you have it. Everything there is to know about producing the Stanley Parable 2. Of course, you may know that there is also a game titled The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So which game is the true sequel to the Stanley Parable? It's an excellent question, Billy. One which the child soldiers have been working round the clock to come up with an answer to. And after many weeks of diligent research, the conclusion they've reached is, who gives a shit? All that matters is that it's more content for you to cram down your insatiable gullet. You don't want thoughtful and nuanced answers to complex questions, Billy. You just want to eat bubble gum and cheat at hopscotch. So get out there and consume. Do your civic duty and bully your parents into buying you every version of the Stanley Parable 2 on every platform. Tell your friends to bully their parents as well. It's through community efforts like these that the world comes together in harmony and connection. And it's only through this connection that we'll defeat Time Dracula once and for all. Don't let the time-traveling vampires win. Buy the Stanley Parable 2 and pledge to support all sequels for today, tomorrow, and into the great unknowable beyond.
Yes, sir. No, Billy. No. Oh, Billy. No. I've never seen that video before. That was hilarious. Exclusive, the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Wow.
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Okay.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Okay.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Jim.
Do you feel it deeply?
Jim.
Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Boy, I had a hard, long day at my work. Me, Jim, I am sure excited to come play my game, and press this lovely button. I wonder what it does.
Jim. That was you! The button
That's me!
You. Do it again, do it again. Jim.
Whoa!
The second time, if this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Jim. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
Wait, no.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
No, wait. But I'm Jim. But I'm Jim. But I was Jim. Okay. I am not Jim anymore.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work.
You heard Jim in the game? The button that says Jim. Wait, when did the sign change? That's Jim. Wait, this one's just a sticky note. It's a sticky note of a clip art. Epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley?
It would be.
Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay, cool. Free, new, and easy trophy. Collectibles. Reassurance bucket. Settings world champion. Wait. Help me. We're gonna become the settings world champion right here, right now. That was close. Almost messed that up. Show translation labels. Reticle. I don't know if this counts or not. Look how big the dot is. I'm technically not hitting every single number because it is jumping by tens. Oops. No, wait. Oh, like, just turn the reticle off, it's fine. On. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry you'll hear that. Color labels. Show warning. Content warning. Reduce motion. Low dexterity mode. Oh, there's a reset settings. No, wait. There's an achievement for this, chat. I promise there's an achievement for this. I'm not crazy. I say as I'm hurting my wrist trying to button mash the D-pad fast enough. I don't know if the resetting actually resets this or not. Let's go! Settings world champion. Reset settings. Yes. Perfect. Resume. Excuse me, I am the settings world champion. Great job.
I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion trophy. Well done.
Thank
You've
you.
experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't seen. So just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting. Something called Bumpscosity. What exactly
Hang on.
is Bumpscosity?
Thank you.
Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider and that it'll be accessible from the settings menu. We'll sort out the rest of the details later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of Bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh man, I can't wait for Bumpscosity. You are the champion of setting all the sliders to all the possible numbers. Please enjoy this room. This is your room. It was made just for you. That's right. That's right. Settings world champion. That's right. You didn't realize you were playing. You're watching the stream of a world champion. Yeah, I'm kind of the best. Oh, the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable
Right.
2 as well. It's Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Okay. Reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that
Just
it
pick it up.
engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it?
I've got a
The
bucket.
glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in
Got a
fact,
bucket.
can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Oh wow.
I think that just
thanks.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Oh.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Can you open the door? Thank you.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be
will.
an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like
Okay.
balloons.
Mhm.
But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Happy 12th birthday, Stepniece. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Yeah.
Happy 12th
Yeah.
birthday, stepniece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No.
No,
No, I've
No.
made my decision. We're
Yes.
moving on.
I played your mind games. Get yours right now. Pull the lever. Receive your new trophy. No more steps. It just works.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident?
Yeah.
Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes.
Nice.
You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
This one. Opening rim, surrounding area. Depth infinite. The holy moly. How deep can we dig? Answer will mildly surprise you. Only mildly. All entrance infinity. Whoops.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is
Never
in
before.
fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's
Never,
right.
ever,
Infinite
forever.
falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap
What?
forward for video games as a medium.
Wow.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions,
Wow.
if I do say so. Now then,
Yep.
since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Why?
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Why?
Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
Thanks.
You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I said
Why don't we
nothing.
just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Sure, which way are we going? This way?
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much.
Yeah.
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Okay.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
Yep.
I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Okay. I haven't.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something.
Sure.
Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Okay.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay.
Is the, teleport button not working?
No.
Sure?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing?
No.
Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Mhm.
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
wait.
You couldn't bear to be away from the
Wait.
hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you
No.
would ever have
Wait.
asked for. It's a win for everyone.
This
you
isn't
get to
fair.
be with the hole, I get to do literally
No, wait.
anything else.
Wait.
Take care, Stanley.
No.
I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
No, come back. Come back. I want to see the rest of the game. We'll get deeper. Oh. It is now. Infinity Hole. Bye, narrator. Oh. Yeah. Hello, it's going good. I don't like those. Oh. It's Bones!
My head's stronger. You're no longer using up the space of my
puppies!
My head's stronger.
What is this music?
You're no longer.
Stanley? 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 Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Wait. No. I want out. Wait. Okay.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. Never mind. New features, new content, new idea. New updated ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way. Is that coming from my capture card? Why is my capture card getting frequency interference? What? What? Huh? I've seen countless a microphone do that, but I've never seen a capture card do that before. I thought it was weird that there was like audio coming from the capture card when there's like nothing happening. It's still doing it. Way over there. Why am I getting why am I getting that? I think it's done now. That's new. Can you find them?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
This is kind of a terrifying image, actually. Cool. Oh, okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
That seems to be it. Exit. This way. the Rorschach test.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
That goes hard, actually. New mug. Please no screenshots. Yeah, don't tell them we're recording. I don't think they'll be happy about it.
What do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. So let's do an experiment.
Okay.
I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on.
No. Hold on.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can whip something up.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, yes. Yes. This is Stanley Parable. And now that we're playing the Stanley Parable 2, I'm gonna end the stream because we're not playing the Special Deluxe anymore. I wasn't even sure how long I was gonna stream. I just wanted to like try and test the filter out, and I also wanted to play Stanley Parable. So I kind of used that as an excuse to play some Stanley Parable and record it. I'm not gonna lie. I'll play more of this game. We'll add this to the list. This will get added to the list. So next real stream. Our next real stream will be tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern. I'm not 100% sure what we're doing. I might do what we did on Saturday and just kind of do whatever. On this coming Saturday, I think we're gonna do another tabletop-esque stream. Yeah. I got new tamas that are gonna be coming in Friday. I'm gonna be picking those up and we can start them. We can get them started on Saturday. Get our family growing. Why are you still awake? Riri is still awake. Riri's now an adult, by the way. I haven't sent a picture to the Discord yet. Probably send a picture of her and Riri. I'm working on like a bajillion things right now. Because I'm very bad at... I'm terrible when it comes to like accidentally putting a bunch of projects on myself. But some of them probably won't be that bad, honestly. But yeah. I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for joining for this very sudden and random stream. And I hope you all have a wonderful remainder of your days. Okay, bye.